Hello, Advanced Ballet Spanish. This is my video about what you need to record for final submission for this class. Everybody's recording the opening, or the music is called The Appearance of Kitri. That can be shot in a variety of ways, or you can do it one time. If you're gonna do it one time, I want you to shoot it from the carpet over here. If you're shooting it in the studio, go stage right, off stage, get as far into the, as far downstage as possible. I'm gonna talk to Joseph because he and I were talking about taking the fan down. I don't know if he just ran out of time or if I was wrong, because my message was like, I think it'll come off like this. And maybe I was wrong. But anyway, we're hoping that that's gonna go away so that you can put your tripod actually up in the window seat. But barring that, you can put your tripod on the ground, like, you know, underneath the fan and shoot that direction. Hoping that that will get you from the front as much as possible, okay? If you record, this is if you're in the studio. If you record with a buddy, you can just let your buddy follow you, okay, for the opening. If you want to be very thorough, you can record your opening the way I'm gonna ask variations to be recorded, okay? So that's opening. For variations, not all of you are doing a variation, but for variations, we want you to do the stage right view that I just talked about. Stage right as in off stage, and hopefully the window seat, but barring that, right under the fan, pointed back at you. We want you to do a second time and use a corner of the stage. You can either use the downstage right or the downstage left. Again, if we were talking about, is that in the coda? I can't remember now whether in one of the group dances, either the coda or the opening, I'm pretty sure it's the opening, we like piqué arabesque or relevé arabesque into the downstage left corner. And that's the sort of thing that we're trying to capture with that. So if in your variation, sorry, I'm getting a text message. What's Crystal Champagne's portion of the, I'll find out. I'm trying to get things like that. So if in your variation, you happen to go to a corner, a downstage corner at all, then that's where you should put the camera, because we're trying to get like there might be a little bit of magic when you releve up towards the camera. We might get a shot of that. And that's what we're going for there. Also, we may get some on the floor activity that's cut off when it's so far off stage to the right. But we need that off stage to the right one that I mentioned first, because it gives us the largest scope of the stage, so that if you're doing something large, like a cinnamon bun of turns or a zigzag back and forth, we can give like the general scope of what that looks like. And then we can come in smaller and show your actual technique. So you probably can see that if you watch, we've all watched a lot of dance online this spring, and that's what they do, right? They show like the combo, and then they come out and they show the dancer going back and forth, and you're like, oh, I see that she's doing that, and here she goes. Got it? Okay, so that's what that's for. If you are recording with a buddy, oh wait, go back, Miss Stephanie. The third for variation is an upstage view. So we want you to put the whatchamacallit, it's a tripod stuff, upstage on the carpet and point it at the mirror, and then do your variation. And all of those three things should be in landscape. Please do not give us only a buddy version, like when somebody's holding the camera and pointing it at you, okay? Because that gets really wobbly. We can't rely on it the whole time. If you are a buddy and you're trying to help, our tripods that all of the film crew have and we have here in the studio actually have like a little handle on it that is for turning the camera smoothly and steadily, and for tipping it forward and tipping it back. So if you can get to know that, it's not that hard to do. You just have to loosen the settings a little bit so that it's not, I don't know about you guys, but mine's all tightened down really tight, like basically as tight as it'll go, because I just want to put my camera in the tripod and then stand back and dance in front of it. But if you are being the camera guy for somebody, if you loosen things a little bit so there's movement, then you can move the camera and the tripod steadies it so it doesn't look like you're like following your buddy while you have, a stroke. So keep that in mind. And also keep in mind, if you are doing a buddy video where you're physically following them with the camera, see this gesture? You need to follow them like this. It needs to be in landscape. Okay. So off stage, stage right view, a corner view, either stage right or stage left, down stage right or down stage left corner, and upstage view with the mirror so that we can get your back and your front simultaneously. Those three are required. Then you may give us a buddy video where someone is physically following you with a camera if you like, and you may give us a point shoe video if you are wearing point shoes. If you are wearing point shoes and you decide to do a point shoe video, you can use your own best judgment there. You don't have to videograph the whole thing. I used Keytree Act 3 as an example. At the very beginning of that variation, she does like a huge développé and then like tombe, pas de bourrée, glissade, leap, huge développé, and then back the way she came. Okay, that is not a good example of like point work we want to videograph. But I think in the very next section, she comes to 5th position and does like échappé second, passe relevé. And then she does it again in place, right? That is the kind of thing you would want to videograph. So if I was Meredith and I was like, okay, I'm going to do my point shoe video, I probably wouldn't do my variation all out. I would start the music and I would tell my buddy, okay, lay on the floor right here and I'm gonna do the échappé part. And then I'd just hang out and I'd let the first section go by and then I'd stand in 5th. And then when the music came up for the échappé part, I would do my échappés and passes, do all of that, Well, my friend videographed. And then when I got to the end of that, then my videograph friend would just stop the video. And then we might move on to like the other part of Act 3 Keytree that comes to mind is the end with the little pas de cheval on point. These are my feet. Everybody knows that's my favorite part. That would be another part, but those might be the only two parts where someone is stationary enough that you can take close point work videograph is my point. Okay. It's be like when, for example, I don't know, does she do a cinnamon bun mare? She does a series of turns at the end, but it might just be straight across the downstage. But even though that does require an enormous amount of really great point work, it's not great for getting close video because she's traveling away from you. So you can't usually stay with her and also stay low, right? You'd have to be like, you'd have like a Harry Potter hover charm and be hovering along the floor as you slid along with her. So I hope that makes sense. So those are, you've got 3 required and 2 optional ones there. And then you have your coda. Everybody's recording the opening and everybody's recording the coda. If you are, that you have the same options with coda that you do with opening. You can just do one recording. If you're in the studio, the one recording should be stage to the stage right. Get it as far downstage as you can without getting the black and white cabinet in the way, and point it at you. Get as much of yourself as possible at the end. If you are doing more than one camera angle, then consider the 3 that are required for your variation. For the variation, even if you're not doing a variation, go to that list and be like, oh, Stephanie said I could do 3 if I wanted to. The more you give us, right, the better you look, the end, right? But also we won't be short because like in the opening, that's a group dance. So you're all going to give me opening material. So if somebody, the only travesty would be if absolutely everybody took me at my word and only choreographed only videographed the opening from off stage right. Because assumedly, if there's part of the choreography that gets lost every time when the camera's at that angle, if you all do it, you will all get lost at that point. And then Christina might say to me, okay, so in this particular section of the music, all 8 of them are off camera. But that won't happen because at least Melissa is not recording in the studio. So she will save us. No pressure, Melissa. Melissa is most likely going to record outside. And so given that, I think also Stella is. I can't remember if I excused her from Spanish entirely or if just from her variation. But if it's true that it was just her variation, then she's going to record in her basement, I think. So anyway, we'll have like 2 people to save us probably if the rest of you come in here and record, and then you're like, and then we're like, oh no, everybody's off camera at that point. So anyway, this is a learning experience, but that is the talking at you version of what you need to videograph. I am going to attach this video to your official it's time to record assignment. Okay. And it will have a list of the files that I need from you. Minimally, if you're not doing a variation, I want you to give me an opening video, a coda video, and I want you to give me a photo of yourself that I can use for like a little, like this is who is in our class intro thing, you know, like picture. Here we go. That's what that will look like, okay? It doesn't have to be a dance photo. It does need to be recognizably you, okay? Don't send me a photo with a bag on your head or a baby photo of you. Yes, that's minimally what you will do. I will, so you'll have a list in your assignment of exactly what you're supposed to do, but I know that some people learn this way, so here you go. Hopefully this will start the conversation if any of us have questions, or if I haven't thought something through. If I've said something here that you guys are like, I wonder if she realizes that that's not gonna work. Just speak up, because I haven't recorded anything yet for myself. I do have to do some recording next week. I don't mean that I haven't recorded anything. I've been recording for 10 weeks, but I have not recorded a dance. I've recorded exercises that take place in front of a camera. So I may be missing something. That's all. Happy recording. Please let me know if you need help. Mwah.